Cheat Code.
Hello, welcome to Pickleball Cheat Code, the show for competitive pickleball players who want to level up their game. We focus on advanced strategies for experienced players, stuff only the pros really know. I'm Brodie Smith. I'm a 5.5 level player and a coach, and I'm here with my co-host, Tanner Tomasi.
What's up, everyone?
Tanner is a 6.0 level player and an APP gold medalist. Today, we're covering how to develop your backhand. And at the end of the episode, we're going to be breaking down the pros who have the best backhand today, and we're going to be debating on that. So be sure to listen at the end of the episode. And then if you like the show, leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. All right. The dreadful backhand, Tanner. This happens to be, the most players' weak point in their game, whether it's from the baseline, transition, backhand at the kitchen. This is where people typically get exposed. So we're going to be breaking down throughout this episode how to improve your backhand from all areas of the court and make that a more comfortable part of your game. So for me, for people that have been listening, for people that know my game, this is an episode that I've been dreading. Why? Backhands, they just give me anxiety. It stresses me out. It's not my forte. Tanner, I want you to do all the talking this episode because Got it. I'm going to use this episode as a reflection point for myself. I consider my forehand to be a 7.0. I know it's not that good, but point is my backhand's I have a 2.5 backhand. I have to work around it as much as I can. So yeah, I'm really looking for you to take a lead here, Tanner. I got some notes. I know a lot of the things to improve a backhand in terms of technique, ways to make it better, but it's still so hard for me to apply. But nonetheless, to kick things off, Tanner, how did you develop your backhand? You don't have a tennis background. What did you do to develop your backhand? And is this something that came easy to you at all?
I'll give you the full rundown. So
I want to hear it all.
Yeah, I actually played tennis in high school for my sophomore, junior, and senior year, but I always struggled with the backhand. I think that really helped me for the forehand, the footwork, everything like that, the volleys. But in tennis, my backhand was insanely weak. I did a two-hander. Coming over to pickleball, exact same thing. My backhand was exceptionally weak. I'd say just recently, probably about 3 months ago, I figured out how to actually get power on the backhand. And it's completely changed the game. And I've been passionate and having fun coaching and making videos about it. I just did a 60-second video that's not posted yet. I don't know at the time of this coming out if it'll be out yet, but it definitely will be by the time this comes out. But this is the trick to the backhand. Super easy. So I found it, or I have it figured out. So the misconception is that in pickleball, it's the forehand covers the middle. The second biggest misconception in pickleball is that on your backhand, your non-dominant hand does everything, does all the work. And then your other hand, your dominant hand's just along for the ride or just like a guide. Whoever is telling you that, I've made some videos like that. They don't know what they're talking about. The way that you have a backhand, it's super easy. So this is the key that completely changed my game. You have to try it, Brodie, and report back. Your dominant hand when you're hitting your backhand. So for me, I'm lefty. So it'd be my left hand, but I'll just say everything for righties. Okay. So if you're a right-handed player, your right arm it's in control of all of the power generation. Think of it like a pulling movement with your dominant hand. So this, a lat row is what I'm demonstrating on the stream for the people listening.
So my right arm would be the one that's pulling the power through the paddle.
Yeah.
Not
power
my left
comes
arm.
From your right arm.
Tanner, I've heard the opposite from everybody.
Exactly.
Even some of my notes for this episode say the opposite because that's what I thought it's supposed to be. So I'm glad you're taking over right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. This is big.
I'm telling you, I struggled with the backhand for 3 years and I'm doing these videos. I'm doing everything. And I was not able to hit a hard backhand. I just could not get power. Literally 3 months ago, I don't even know what clicked. I did a video with Will Howes and he didn't directly say it, but he kind of implied it. And then I kind of just started messing around and then it worked. But yeah, so all the power comes from your dominant hand. You're doing a row in the gym, that pulling motion when you make contacts with the ball. So you're using your lat, your shoulder, everything to whip for power. And then your non-dominant hand is simply there for shape on the ball. So you want to brush with that non-dominant hand. So if you're a righty, your hand is doing the brush. That's why people are like, oh, hit lefty forehands if you want to have a good two-handed backhand. Yeah, for the shape on the ball. So when you combine these things, you can just hit. The backhand, I can crank it now.
I've seen you, especially in singles, you crank it.
In singles, I'm cranking it now, but I did not up until literally 3 months ago. I haven't figured out. And now
I've even seen you prior to 3 months ago, and to me, that was cranking. So I'm pumped to see it now.
Now I can rip it. Yeah. That's the key to it. Like if I have a sitting backhand in singles, like I can hit it anywhere. I can pass the person with as much confidence as my forehand. The only thing that I'll struggle with is like my consistency isn't as strong as my forehand. Like if I have a sitting forehand, I know I'll get the ball in where I want it to go. With the backhand, there's still a tiny bit of doubt. But as just time goes on, I'll be a pro at it. But yeah, that is it. I swear that is the change.
I've been trying to like connect the dots and figure out the logic of it as you've been going. So like, I mean, look at Roger Federer, right? His one hand backhand. It's what you're talking about, correct? Where it's his dominant hand that's swinging through and pulling through, like you said, using his torque. And I'm just trying to bring the example of what a one hand backhand would look like in theory, right? And then if he were to add his non-dominant hand, that's when he would be like shaping it per se, correct?
Yes.
Like, so his form would be the picture perfect ideal way of hitting that with just if you were to use only one hand and pick a ball, right?
Yes.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
So is there any power or generation that's coming from your offhand at all? Or is it pretty much like 90% plus on your dominant hand?
I'd say like 90% dominant, not 10% non-dominant. It's like, that's the issue. The people that are teaching it, like I said, myself included, and it could be different for everybody, but this is just what I found is like, if they don't have a super good backhand themselves and they're teaching it, because that's what I was doing, because I was told, the backhand, the non-dominant hand does everything. I was told that, so I was teaching it.
That's what I did too, yeah.
Yeah, my backhand sucked though, but now my backhand's good, and I know it's the pulling motion like you're doing a row in the gym. That is the key to the power. I immediately hit the ball 15 times as hard when I did that, because I literally, when I would play singles, I would only drop off my backhand, and my returns were terrible because I was unable to get power.
Same. I mean, that's how I play with my backhand. I use it strictly for defense, and then I only drop. I'm never hitting a backhand drive. And that's another point I wanted to make too. It's like, I mean, I guess I'll ask you this: is how important is having a backhand drive in your game? Because I have my thoughts. So, I mean, I play at a high level without a backhand drive. I never hit a backhand drive, but obviously there's gaps to my game to clearly improve. Like that's evident. I wonder how much better I could get if I had a strong backhand drive. I mean, for me, I'm only dropping them, and then I'm using it as a point of consistency. So like my backhand is my wall, like that's where I use for defense. And then I can apply pressure with some speed ups off a backhand off the bounce pretty easily now, which I've been able to work on the past year or so. So that's been good to do, is, be able to go down the line, middle. I just need to get better at rolling at crosscourt. But point being is like, if I had a drive, I didn't think it'd be that important. So I guess
it's important because like the better and better people that you play, like say you're playing against me, I serve one to your forehand, I serve one to your backhand, and one's like clearly weaker. You can even see that in like warm-ups for singles. There's no reason whenever I'm serving that I should ever go to your forehand. If I can guarantee I get a weak return off your backhand, I'm going to get to the net at like a 99% opportunity, where it's like, if I go to your forehand, you could hit one deep, I could miss the ball.
True.
But if you're just lofting me bad returns back, like I'm going to punish you on the third shot, whether that's an aggressive drop or a hard drive every single time.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess the serve return would I think it'd be the most important reason to have a backhand drive, right?
Yeah. Another example.
Yeah, go ahead. I was asking what else too would be the most, like, if you're to create a hierarchy of what is the importance of backhand drive outside of that serve return, like what else would that would be?
Yeah, I would say like from the APP this past weekend when we won in the finals, I know my partner Richard and our strategy was like, especially when the game gets tight, like you're always better off hitting third shot drives and then drops. Late in the game, there were some returns that came to my backhand, and normally like I would drop them. And if I was like tight or nervous, like maybe it goes into the net, that could easily shift the momentum of the game. Just a quick side out, couple errors here and there. But instead, I drove it just at the guy in front of me, 70% power, still coming in pretty hard, about at net height. He wasn't able to punish me super hard with the volley. I reset the next one, get up to the net. there's not thinking, there's no pressure onto it. Where if you're hitting a third shot drop and the game's 8-8, game 3 of the APP finals, whatever, you're definitely going to be thinking a little bit when you're hitting the ball. But when I drive it, like I'm not just mind blank, boop, here we go, you know?
Another time where you've really blown my mind here, Tanner. There's a few times that we've had these conversations where I'm like really sitting back and just thinking about everything. Right. Another one of those too was how we hit the backhand crosscourt dink, which we talked about in another episode, and we've had some clips from. And to reiterate that for people that don't hear that, it's the scooping motion. So if we're in a backhand dink battle, so many people think the roll from your backhand is a strictly upwards over the top motion. But what we talked about and discussed that Tanner brought to light for me, which has really helped my game a ton going cross-court backhand, that I just need to simply drill more on, but it's gotten so much better because of you and that conversation that we had, is it's a scooping motion. So using your non-dominant hand to create that shape, right? Since it's more so, kind of, I guess both at the same time.
More than scoop, maybe.
Thank you. A cupping motion, well said. And you're cupping around the ball and creating side spin versus just going for top spin. So if I want to go cross court, I'm cupping around the ball and having more side so that way it'll help the ball land more shallow in the kitchen per se is the way that works. Okay. Well, I'm going to be like listening to this over and over regarding the drive. Do you feel like other players have the exact same thing? Because you're talking about how Will was breaking it down to you too, who also has a great backhand drive. Are they doing the same in terms of power generation, where it's coming from that dominant hand? Or do you think there's some that are doing their offhand and still generating the same power?
Yeah, I don't know for sure. Like everybody might be different. I think like maybe some people use their hips more. I try to use my hips. I've tried literally everything. I've used the ball machine. I've hit the backhand, and I just literally could not hit the ball hard, like no matter what. Like,
yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, people are like, just swing harder. I'm telling you, if you're having that issue, it's because you're not using your non-dominant.
I feel like I'm hitting it with a pillow.
Yeah, no, I literally only would drop in singles. I would avoid, I would push it in doubles returns. Now I just tee off on it. Sure, bend your legs, that. All that's really sure, it's important, but it's not as important as the other. Like the other comes naturally. Like obviously you want to get low, but what's not natural is pulling hard with your dominant and brushing with the other.
Okay, that's huge. That's the cheat code of the day. Marking that down right now, no question. And I don't want to overlook though some of the fundamentals. So let's go over some of the basics of getting that two-hand backhand down as well, from both the kitchen, midcourt, and the baseline. So one thing that I think is important too is the stance. Are you always hitting in a closed stance when you're hitting that drive, or do you ever hit it? Because for example, in a forehand, I'll hit in an open stance a lot. I'm not closed stance every time I hit a forehand. But I feel like with backhand, since you're using two hands, you have to be in that closed stance, right?
Yeah. If you think about it this way, like with the backhands, you should always, I don't know of anybody, I'm sure some people do it, but whenever you drive the ball, you want to be in a closed stance, meaning one foot in front of the other, kind of like you're swinging a baseball bat. Yeah. And the reason is the dots all connect now is if you think of being in an open stance, meaning your hips facing the middle of the court and you're trying to hit that backhand, it's just imagine your brain right now. It's physically impossible to use that dominant hand to pull. You know what I mean? So the power is not going to be there. Where when you're closed, you're able to use that dominant arm to pull from the back. Obviously, you want to get low, stay low, make contact out in front. Another key thing is nothing's as important as pulling with the arm. But another key thing is I don't really like to hit the shot stationary. I always want to step into it with my lead foot. So if you're a righty, step into it with that right foot and then allow your back leg to kind of swing around. Really just make sure your hips are exploding through. But that's really it for the back. There's not much to it. Get low, step into it, use your back leg to plow through.
And just let it rip. How far are you taking that paddle back in your backswing? And then also, are you just are you rotating through with both arms, finishing like a golf stroke per se? Is that what that form looks like from back to front on that drive?
Yeah, finish with your, you want to be taking the paddle back just like a comfortable. I wouldn't say it, don't exaggerate taking it back, just whatever's feels natural. I don't put too much thought there. It's more or less you just want to be pulling with that arm. And then you finish over your shoulder. Yeah. With both arms, two hands on the paddle, making sure that you're following through low to high.
Okay. What about when we're at the kitchen? Because at the kitchen, different style of game, right? And then even midcourt too, we're typically going to be in that open stance where our chest is facing the net, our legs are facing the net. We're not hitting it like a baseball player, for example, because that's when we don't really need to generate power. But I guess quick question on that too. If you get a ball midcourt and you want to apply some pressure, are you ever going to be driving in that open stance? Or are you still going to like shift if you want to put that pressure on there and kind of show what you're going to do per se? Because I feel like it kind of shows your cards to the opponent as soon as you turn your body, showing that you're going to drive from there.
Yeah, I would say the mid-court, maybe you could hit it more from an open stance. If it's there, like say I'm prepping for a reset, but they just like loft the ball that bounces in front of me and I'm in an open stance. Depending on everything, like how the ball bounces, I might use an open stance to hit it just because the guy is, or the opponent in front of me is much closer. So like I don't need to hit it as hard. At that point though, in that stance, especially like I'm prioritizing the shape on the ball because I want to get it down. I'm in the midcourt looking to attack, pounce on the next ball. I don't need to hit it through their chest. I just need them to hit up on it. So I would say no for that. I would not try to rip the ball from an open stance ever. My game, maybe somebody's different, but for me, never. I would always be in a closed stance if I'm gonna hit the backhand.
What about speeding up? So let's say we're in a little dink battle at the kitchen. Maybe you're going cross court back and forth. You're going to be in an open stance because you need to stay parallel and shift left and right. And be able to shift left and right at the kitchen and hitting off your plant leg, off your left foot. When we're always talking about form on the backhand too. I mean, this is the case for everything. Is really ensuring, like when we're taking balls out of the air, is getting our butt as low as possible. Getting low is the most important thing. Everything in pickleball, backhand especially, getting low, getting underneath that ball so we can take balls out of the air, create shape using our butt and our legs to come around the ball, cup, whatever it might be. But when we're going cross court, my question is, for whenever you're speeding up, I guess, are you ever changing your stance there, or we're always going to be staying closed too, or open per se?
Yeah, I'll explain it to you. So when I'm dinking at the kitchen line, it's funny, like I said, everybody has their own take. Like I know James Ignatowicz actually says that you should be hitting it in an open stance. If you look at the screen, like I'm just demonstrating with my legs like this. But the way that I like to explain it and teach it, and I've heard others explain it too, is you want to be able to draw a line from your back foot to your front foot to where you want the ball to go whenever you hit the backhand dink. So if I'm dinking, let's say I'm dinking cross court. Yeah, if I'm dinking cross court, I want to be like this with my feet, straight line, cross court. If I'm dinking straight ahead, I want my feet to even be like this. I never hit the two-handed backhand in an open stance ever when I'm at the kitchen line dinking.
Interesting. I'm almost always open stance. Even my speed ups, if I'm going down the line cross body, and it works for me, like you said, this can be a preference thing, I feel like, versus the drive, for example. It's not a preference thing. You need to hit it closed. What I like about staying open all the time is that it's very deceptive, because for you, wouldn't you say that's a tell if I'm pointing my feet to where I'm hitting the ball every time when I know where it's going?
Maybe, I don't know, not really, because like, you can kind of like use your like wrists and stuff to kind of like contort the ball. Like I had a great point.
That's true. Because I guess, well, to cut you off too, I was going to say, like, your leg could be pointing at my body, but I still don't know if you're going left hip, left shoulder, right shoulder. Is that fair to say? Because there's still, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be that fine tuned of where you're pointing,
Yeah, I had this one shot that I've been working on forever. I think I might have actually talked about it in an earlier podcast, but we never had a clip of it. Now there's a clip of it in the semifinals when I was playing against Eric Lang and Max Manthau, where I dinked one to the middle with my two-handed backhand, and I kind of saw Eric was cross court from me. I saw him kind of like cheat over and like want to poke in because he plays heavy dominant backhand. He wants to get big in the middle. So he like tried to go for it, but then Max like stole it, dinked it back to me. Exact same ball came back to me. I set up the exact same, and then I just like same footwork, same everything. But then I flipped it with my wrist, really aggressive cross court, and he thought I was going middle. So like it was very deceptive. And it was the first time I used it in a tournament, but it was because like my form was the exact same, But I'm comfortable hitting that shot when I'm only in the proper footwork. Like I'm not going to try that off balance,
That's true. Yeah, no, as long as you can have at least some level of deception, I feel like. And one thing that I noticed that some players do in the backhand side is they'll show you what they're going to do. Like Anna Lee, I mean, you've played against her multiple times. She is one of the best players at taking a backhand off the bounce and then just delivering a speed up that's just you know it might be coming at you, but you don't know specifically where it's going to be. Do you think it's easier to speed up off the backhand and create more power there than the forehand side? Because for me, I feel like it kind of opens up more court in a way, and it's easier to have that low to high motion per se.
Yeah, I think I can hit the forehand probably a lot harder. So like if I go for a body bag, I'm probably not going to do it off the backhand. I'll do it off the forehand. But the reason the backhand's so special and it's still so new in pickleball, it's getting kind of like still discovered, is that since you have two hands on the paddle, like I said, you can kind of use your wrist to like torque the ball more. So maybe I can't hit the ball as hard, but I'm able to put it in like way different spots. Like I can make it look like I'm going straight ahead, and then at the last minute, just like snap my wrist really aggressively.
Exactly.
And the ball could just go at a 90-degree angle. Where with the forehand, like that's not going to happen. I need to like brush around it, you know?
True. Let's chat dinking on the backhand side. So we've touched on this a little bit before, but not a ton. In terms of backhand slicing, which used to be kind of the meta in pickleball for dinking versus like a backhand chop dink, versus now we're seeing a lot more of that two-hand roll and that two-hand cupping. What are the pros and cons of that too? How often are you hitting a chop on your backhand side versus rolling? Because I feel like it just comes down to that backhand chop is your neutralizing shot to play consistent defense. And then when you have two hands on there, you're opening up more room for an offensive type shot.
Here's the thing that you want to kind of follow is basically like, say you're two righties going cross court to each other. If you're rolling the ball, meaning you're hitting topspin with two hands, and your opponent is slicing the ball, you're at a huge advantage rolling the ball, meaning topspin. And the reason is if you're slicing it, you're just giving me another ball to tee off on with an aggressive dink. If you're hitting an aggressive ball at me, meaning you're on the other end of that, it's very hard to handle an aggressive ball. You kind of have to like bail out of that pattern, which since it's coming in aggressively with topspin, you could pop it up. So like the rule of thumb, like what me and my partner Richard follow is like, if one of the players, because we both have good, pretty aggressive two-handed rolls, if one of the players like only likes to slice, you should like roll to them, you know, because they're not going to be able to handle it. They're going to have to.
I was about to say, because slicing off a roll coming at you is really hard. Because you have to time it perfectly, and then it's going to be skipping at you. Then you have to like try to chop perfectly. You almost have to short hop it, right?
Exactly.
Or
and then
out of the air, yeah.
Since I'm lefty, and this is why you see like the majority of lefties hit two-handed backhands, or they run around and hit forehands. They don't slice many backhands, and the reason is if you're slicing a backhand, you're going cross court with a righty almost every time. True. That righty has his forehand there, so by you slicing the ball to him, you're just giving him a ball that he can speed up off the bounce with his forehand. Yep. You need to be rolling.
You have
to like take control. You have to, or you're just going to get dictated.
Are there any lefties at the pro level that are slicing their dinks? I'm just kind of curious now to think about it. I feel like based on what you said, there probably isn't.
I don't think so. Like there's like Pablo runs around, hits the forehand. Augie only hits two hands. CJ hits two hands or runs around. He slices some, but he'll like slice to the middle. No lefties like slicing out wide to the opponent.
Gotcha. I mean, so let's talk about running around the dink in general or your shot. Because I just because my forehand personally is so much better than my backhand, I'm running around it all the time. And I've talked about this before as well, as like when I'm on the left side and I'm in a backhand dink battle, I'll completely run around it and try to open up the court. I still think it creates a ton of offense, and, you know, I can roll outside, I can go middle, I can go down the line, and I'm able to create a lot from that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if your backhand's not that good, it's not that bad to run around it every once in a while. So I know this is about getting your backhand better in this episode, but are you ever running around yours at all? Or are you always staying pretty neutral for wherever the ball's coming?
No, yeah, running around it's great because it gives different looks to the opponent. So I will basically like, if I hit an aggressive dink that I know they're going to like hit a dead dink back, I'll like hit it and then prematurely like run around it ready.
Exactly.
It opens up everything. Lob is great. Like every shot's good off of it.
I love it. That's what Thomas does so well. Thomas Wilson, Jack Sock does it really well. And try to follow that as well, because it creates so much chaos. So I guess to people out there that don't love their backhand, it's okay to run around it. It's not a bad thing. Okay. Whereas like in singles, it can probably suck, or in tennis, it can probably suck in singles. But so let's talk about some ways to, you know, dial in somebody's backhand and, you know, have them get uncomfortable, because it's an uncomfortable thing to work on. People don't want to go spend time on it. Like you said, you've done a lot of ball machine work. You've really went after it and tried to expose your weakness coming into the game with a bad backhand. So for somebody like myself that I don't have a tennis background, so that's why I struggle with it a lot too. What are some ways for me to go to the lab and go develop my backhand starting tomorrow per se? Like what are some things that you would have me do if you were my coach to start working on that and really taking that to the next level from both baseline, kitchen, and midcourt?
I think a lot of it is just reps. So like I would tell you either say I was your coach, I would go out, you can get a friend, it doesn't need to be your coach or the ball machine, whatever. And you just like rally back and forth, backhand to backhand, or you're just hitting backhands. You can hit it anywhere to the person who's like helping you or feeding you. But you just really trying to like understand, because it's all about the why. You really just understanding that dominant arm is generating the power, the non-dominant arm is generating the brush. So I would just not work on ripping it, but work on just being consistently, get good shape on the ball from all areas on the court, from the back, the mid, at the net dinking. I'm not trying to rip a winner dink, but just get the feel and really understand it. But the backhand, I've done so many reps. You have to just get the reps of it or you're not going to do it. The main drill that I do when I drill is just right to right, cross court, dinking aggressively for like 30 minutes. No speed ups, only just hitting the backhand.
So exhausting.
Yeah, it's great workout, good
is.
legs. But like that's just it. If you don't do that, it's going to be difficult to get better without doing the reps.
Okay. Any specific drills to work on besides just reps? I mean, or is it as simple as like the consistency part? I mean, if there isn't a drill that you have in mind, that's not a bad thing. I'm just curious. Maybe it's as simple as cross court and then baseline drives back and forth, and that's all I need to do. If that's the case, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want more on my plate, but curious if there's any like specific drill. I mean, I guess you can incorporate it to 7-Eleven where I'm just trying to hit my backhand only, for example. I don't know. Didn't know if you had any.
No, yeah, like I think it's just the reps. Like if you do 7-Eleven and they're only hitting it to your backhand, like that's not the way I like to work on the drills. It's like I want to isolate one thing and just get really good at it super quick. Like for 7-Eleven, if you're at the net, I'm at the baseline. You feed me the ball to my backhand, I hit a backhand drive, and then we play it out. I'm getting one rep on it every, say the point's 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds, I rather just like boom, 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 boom. I rather get 100 reps in 3 minutes. And then I'm just way stronger rather than like doing a little bit here. And then I'm working on that. And then this and then that. Just hammer it for literally 3-4 days. And it's just uncomparable results.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I always shy away from getting uncomfortable and really shedding light on dialing in my backhand because it's not as fun to work on for me as trying to do everything else. And makes me feel like a shittier player, but I clearly need to do it. And I even talked about this in another episode. It's like, that's the number one thing. I need to follow my own advice, Tanner. I need to go look myself in the mirror and go work on my damn backhand more versus just getting these reps in and you know, sorry. I mean, just like drilling and other stuff. But yeah, I need to go just drill that specifically.
Yeah, I used to be intimidated like with the backhand in general and thinking like, oh shoot, I'm going to miss it. But I distinctly remember saying to myself, like, I'm going to turn this into my strength. And I think I'm finally at the point where my backhand is more of my strength, where like when people dink to my backhand, I like it because I can be very aggressive and I have a lot of weapons. Whereas before, like it was just like a safe spot to dink, but now it's the opposite, you know?
Hell yeah. Okay. That's what I like to hear. All right. Well, let's round out the episode here with talking about some pro players. And we even mentioned this earlier, how it's really important to watch the pro level players and really analyze what they're doing. So who do you think right now has the best backhand in pickleball? Maybe it's somebody has the best one in singles and somebody else has the better one in doubles. I put some names down just to think of it, just like to help brainstorm. First thing that comes to mind for me and a lot of people is Connor Garnett, who hits the living shit out of the ball with his backhand. It's crazy. He reps 2E Nation for a reason. So that's one. Another was Ben Johns, just because of how consistent he is. And it's interesting because Ben used to be somebody that would slice all of his backhand dinks. And then we saw him evolve with the game and he's able to develop so quickly a two-hand roll because he realizes that's where pressure is going and that's where the meta is going. So that's insanely impressive to see. And then another one just for fun I noted is Andre Daescu, because it's, you might just say no. I just put it on there because he's so consistent with that backhand slice and he's never missing it. But it's nothing like extreme where he's applying pressure. Just something that I thought was interesting where he does that part of his game so well. But I'll let you take lead here. What do you think? Who's got the best out there?
No, I think the ones you said really good. Obviously, James Ignatowicz has a really good one. Kwang Wong has a really good one. Hayden has a really good backhand dink, who I've been trying to take notes from. He does his form a little different. He hits a little bit more topspin, where I kind of like do.
He like whips it up pretty quick, doesn't he?
He whips it up, but he's just one of those people where it's just like he just like has it. You know, I just don't have that. I've tried. It's hard. I haven't made progress this way that I'm doing. I've made a lot of progress, but his is very aggressive and hard to handle.
Yeah.
Tardio, like all of them. Yeah.
I was going to say Tardio too. It's kind of maybe some of the younger guys are doing that because I feel like the timing to do that when you're hitting those like quick roll shots, even on your forehand, they both do it on their forehand too. I feel like your timing has to be perfect. And if you don't have that, like just make it consistent and do what I do and just shovel the ball back all day long.
Exactly.
That's my method. Who would you say is the best though? If you had to crown somebody?
Probably Connor Garnett, just because he's got the whole thing going.
Yeah, it's wild. I feel like the singles game and the tennis background really helps a lot too. Now that I'm even talking about this, I need to do more singles because I feel like that's going to make my doubles backhand better. Same way serving and returning in that singles helps my doubles serves and return become like 20 times better. So, all right, Tanner, I'm really excited about this episode. I'm going to go listen to this every single time I go drive to the courts and just hear you talk about the form and what I need to be working on. So I'm going to be reporting back. I'm going to be posting some videos probably of me working on this too. So follow me on IG at Brodie Pickleball, and I'll be exposing my own backhand and then showing my progress with taking my dominant hand and letting that drive the power there. So I'm no longer going to be getting roasted as the shitty backhand player, and I can't wait to turn things around here. Thanks to you.
Yes, sir.
All right, team. Ben Real, I love you so much. Great time. Say it back.
Love you.
Damn it. Thank you. Bye.